the site of the 2019 Summer League. We will be watching the league's top prospects showcasing their talents over the next couple weeks here. But here today in the Thomas & Mack Center, we're hanging out. We're hanging out all day, Amin Al-Hassan.
We made it,
I'm
baby.
Rachel Nichols. Our front office insider, Amin Al-Hassan, is with us. 2008 NBA champion.
My God.
Kendrick Perkins is with us. This is going to be so much fun today. The Jump is with you 3 separate times throughout the day, getting you ready for all the Summer League games. And who knows? Maybe we'll have some Kawhi news as well. Here's what I know we're going to talk about coming up, though. Expectations for Zion Williamson versus R.J. Barrett tonight. We are going to get you locked in for that game later. First, though. Oh, yes. It's time for another episode of
What are y'all doing, man?
Kawhi Light Zone. The surreal world that we all live in now as we wait for the Kawhi free agency decision. And for those of you counting along at home, we are, yes, in day 6 of Kawhi Watch. He has met with the Lakers, the Clippers, the Raptors. And to those of you who thought Kawhi would, never fly his way all the way out to Toronto just to have a meeting, guess what, guys? Looks like he flew all the way to Toronto just to have a meeting. Earlier today, there's an aviation correspondent up there named Tom Polodek tweeted out some info that said that Kawhi was likely flying on that MLSE, that Raptors-owned parent company jet, back to San Diego. So he's now supposedly in Southern California, if that was ever really him at all, up in Toronto. You can also see this Instagram post we've got up here. That's Kawhi's sister. The caption is, "Be patient."
Yeah.
To which somebody was like, "Oh, maybe we have breaking news." And she's like, no, just be patient, people. One player that is awaiting Kawhi's decision urgently is Danny Green. He spoke about waiting for Kawhi on his podcast. Take a listen to Inside the Green Room.
Also, all those things come across the board. If I miss out on an opportunity to get the short of the stick, which would suck. So I'm hoping that he makes the decision soon. We have a couple things in place that's lined up. We're going to see how much longer these games will wait. I don't think much longer than another day or so. And then hopefully a good decision comes out of it, not just for him but for me.
If Danny's right, and it is only a day or so, that's going to be good news for the Lakers because they have now put themselves in a bit of an urgent situation. Listen to Bobby Marks break down the ticking clock the LA Lakers are on. He did this on Golic and Wingo.
What's supposed to happen is that the Lakers are going to use their $32 million in cap space if or without Kawhi Leonard. They're going to sign Kawhi or free agents and build out the roster, and then they were going to do the Anthony Davis trade. That's kind of how it has to work. And I'm looking at the timing of this. We're 48 hours from July 6th, right? At noon, you can start making trades. What happens if this Kawhi Leonard decision lingers into Sunday, where teams are not going to wait?
So what he's explaining is once the trades start getting executed, the cap space shrinks. These are Kawhi's contract options. If the Lakers execute the AD trade before they sign Kawhi, they will have $11 million less to offer over the life of the contract than the other teams. So, Perk, when you see this window of opportunity maybe closing for the Lakers, what do you think it's like for Kawhi, knowing that this additional factor is now looming out there too?
Well, I mean, we talking about $11 million, right? So it's not like it's apples and oranges. I mean, and Kawhi seems like a dude that's obviously he wants the money, but $11 million shouldn't make him hurry up and rush his decision. If he lose out on it, I'm pretty sure he'll make it up in other areas signing with the Lakers.
Right.
I'm just jealous that it's not me in this big ball right now.
with all of those different numbers. Can you explain a little bit more why the cap space shrinks once the trades execute?
Right, so the whole $32 million number is based on the idea that they have the space, go out, sign players, and then do the Anthony Davis trade. Remember, Brandon Ingram, Alonzo Ball, Josh Hart, these guys are still technically Lakers. Anthony Davis is still technically a Pelican. So until that trade happens, their numbers are on the books. They're lower numbers. Once the deal gets done, they got less space because now you're going with the current actual numbers of Anthony Davis's contract on the books. That's what's going on here. And as Bobby Marks said, Pelicans don't want to do the Lakers any favors.
Right.
July 6th hits. Where's
At
my
noon.
people? Where are my players? Where are all my picks? I want them now, right?
Did
Like
you
50
want
Cent,
them-
they want it right now.
Right.
So now here's the thing about.
And by the way, it's not just the Pelicans, because there's been
Absolutely.
trades made off of that trade,
right.
right? So you have teams that want to get their rookies, the people that they've drafted into Summer League, that they were drafting for someone else,
Right.
who's drafting for someone else.
Right, and I'm pretty sure no team want to do the Lakers any favors
Well,
right now. So, especially if they have a chance at landing Kawhi.
Absolutely. But there's one thing, that graphic is correct, but it assumes one very important thing, that Kawhi wants to sign 5 or 4 years.
Okay.
If he's signing a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal, I'm not saying that's what he's thinking. I'm saying that's an option available to him, especially because if he becomes a 10-year vet, the max is much higher.
Yes.
Right.
So it may not be even that much money left on the table for him.
Right.
There's a situation where he comes to the Lakers after an AD trade, but instead of 4 years, 127, it's 3 years or even 2 years, and then he comes back into free agency and reaps the benefits.
Here's where the possible 11 million is maybe more of a factor. What if that date passes, Kawhi still hasn't made the decision, the Lakers have been holding this space open for him, and then a day or two later he says, you know what, actually I'm staying in Toronto. Then they have less money to go after other guys.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is accurate. So the cap space shrinks either way, whether
Right.
Kawhi comes or not. But now
But it's not just Kawhi who might pay the quote price of that.
Well, I mean, or it might be the Lakers. They just might be able to afford 2 guys instead of 3 guys, or
Right.
2 of the guys that they really like Danny Green, who's one, and another name that no one's really mentioned, who had a really good year last year, Marcus Morris, who's
Absolutely.
represented by Clutch Management.
Yes.
So those are 2 players who, if Kawhi doesn't go to the Lakers, they got some money lined up for him probably.
Right. Although Danny Green, it seems like if Kawhi comes back to the Raptors,
He might go back to
indications
Toronto.
are that he would want to go run it back with
Yeah.
him there. We'll have to see, though, what he decides and where he wants to go. It feels like everybody knows everything these days, and we are tracking the airplanes, or at least someone is. So we know a little bit. It's crazy. The stage, when you get to the airplane tracking stage of any story, how though have Kawhi's camp been able to keep this so quiet in terms of what he's thinking, what he might do? Why don't we know more when we usually know about everything about every player?
Well, I mean, you gotta give praise to him in this camp. I mean, those guys they're running things the right way. I mean, you go back to even to last year with the Spurs, the way they handled things with the Spurs organization. Kawhi took a lot of heat, but they did what was best for Kawhi, and that's what you want in your corner. You want guys who's working, who's doing the right things, who's on your side. And I love what his camp is doing. It's no leaks whatsoever. It's airtight, and that's a lot of trust in that circle. He got me over here tripping because I want to know. I thought I was going to wake up to
We
some
looking at
breaking-
you, by the way. You're the number 1 source right now for all these news. So
No,
we're making
now Kawhi only talked to me one time. That was after the championship, and he said, I appreciate you. I've been watching you. Thanks for all the love. And I was like, okay, Kawhi. Well, send me a jersey in the mail. I did that.
It is interesting, though, because it's how they talk. It's not just how they may or might not leak to the media. A lot of leaks happen because someone in a camp or an agent or somebody
Right.
will talk to another team about something, about plans, right?
Right.
And that someone at that other team will leak it.
Yeah, and agents are probably the number 1 leak. And so when you look at Kawhi in this camp, it's a secret society. All we ask is trust. So remember, Rachel, when they were going through things with the Spurs, and you said there's some mending fences to do on both sides. I said no, because only one side was doing the talking.
Right.
Throughout that whole Spurs thing, did you
Yeah.
ever hear Kawhi say, man, that's messed up, man,
Nope.
they're talking about me this way, or leaks saying that Kawhi's upset? We never heard anything.
Right.
Because their camp, in a throwback, it's a throwback, right, to a day where you could tell somebody a secret,
Yes.
and it would stay a secret.
Yes.
And so I applaud them for their ability to control this narrative better than probably anybody in modern times NBA.
Yeah, and look, we joke about the Kawhi Light Zone, but it is really sort of the state of affairs. Normally, we're operating with so much more information.
Right.
Here, it's just a haze of rumors and wisps on the wind, and we'll all find out what happens in the end, just like an episode of TV. It'll be a big surprise, a lot of fun.
patient.
And you know, I look, I'm with Kawhi. Take your time
Take
because
your
this
time.
is a life-changing thing for him. Although he didn't got paid, but you're talking about leaving a city that you just won a championship in. You talking about a possibility of maybe joining LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I mean, this take time, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think he should take all the time in the world. Don't rush it. Hey,
And this, by the way, it's not so much longer than some other free agency decisions. We've just had more attention on it than in past years. We've had LeBron take until July 9th, July 11th.
Rachel, you remember the story I told about interviewing Steve Fisher, and he said if it were up to Kawhi, he'd still be trying to pick what school he's going to today, right? He's just a slow decision maker when it comes to these big life things.
Right.
Now, the funny thing is, Jason Dumas, who was a reporter, tweeted out, when Kawhi was going to San Diego State, they weren't for sure that he would come until he showed up for summer school. They couldn't get in contact with him until he showed up on the first day of summer school. So again, this isn't out of the norm for him.
Right.
He's a guy who takes his time with big decisions.
Well, we have the official start date of next season, Kawhi. I can forward that to you if you want to wait until then to make your decision. Coming up, we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler and some suggestions that the Rockets might be better off without him. Jimmy is certainly doing well without them. That's all I got to say. First, though, here's our distant replay. It's this date, 1992. Little Dream Team preview for you. That's always fun.
Wow.
Okay. The America's title game, the United States practiced picking up their gold medals. They hooked up with Venezuela. Larry Legend not needed today. Magic, the scoop.